Lightyear, which was a movie that was based on a franchise that is a very big one. As I mentioned, for perspective before, Toy Story 4 opened up with almost $130 million, if I'm not mistaken, like domestically or whatever. $51 million was what Lightyear opened up with. And yeah, you know everything surrounding it. The narratives, it was Pixar had a meaningless gay kiss in there for the sake of it being in there. It got taken out, and then it got demanded. The lettuce, guacamole, bacon, and tomato group decided that it was not enough, and they demanded that basically it be put back in there. And then it was put back in there, and yeah, the movie was released. But then it was focused on. And then you had Chris Evans, who's talking about it as the movie's coming out. What a big brain that guy has. He's just a deranged leftist, much like Mark Ruffalo and other members of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But he completely overstates his. I think a lot of celebrities really overstate their influence. The year of the day and age, the era of the like big mega star that people would go watch a movie just because that person's in it. It's not a whole lot of those anymore. There's only a couple of those, and as far as carrying films, those days are beyond us. Mainly because the mystique of Hollywood is completely gone with the implementation of social media, and really them using it. So you know everything about them. They'll tell on themselves. They'll show how much they're buttholes and all that stuff. So Chris Evans is telling how his audience, a bunch of dinosaurs. You suck if you don't care, if you don't like this and all this, just insulting audience. And of course that equaled a massive flop. And as it stands right now, considering how much it made internationally and how far it fell going into the second week, I don't think this movie is going to make any money. They spent $200 million to make it, which means you probably have to double and then some if you consider the fact that you're gonna get like on the upward of a double that. You got marketing and everything surrounding that. You also have the fact that, of course, with theaters and everything, they don't get all of the money like every ticket purchase. So there is a big chance that this movie is probably never going to make money and is going to lose it, despite it being Lightyear, despite it being this massive IP. It is, and again, Toy Story 4 did. We know what that did. You can blame whatever you want to blame, but it's a flop. But this is the interesting thing, is that it has the second weekend. It's the worst, or the second weekend box office hits. It's a record Pixar low. Now that their woke animated feature, Lightyear, has taken a nosedive in the box office. This is the bright part, so this is why the language is like that. The child groomers at Walt Disney must be bummed. Other than Onward 2020, that was 2020, okay, which doesn't count because of the that Modelo virus, when it released. It says Lightyear currently holds the record for worst second weekend box office dive in Pixar's history ever. After opening with a disastrous $51 million, its second week, Lightyear earned just $17.17 million, which is a crash of 65%. Now, it going down a lot it's not unusual. But when you don't make a lot and then you still go down a lot, that's your problem. The Toy Story movie Lightyear is part of the most popular and iconic. This is what I mentioned worldwide. It's earned just $152 million. Production alone cost $200 million. You add another $100 for advertising in order to break even. Disney needs to see a worldwide take of at least $550 to $650 million, which will not happen and more likely won't. So Lightyear will probably lose more than $100 million. Onward is the only one that has done worse, but you consider when it released. It was released early March of 2020. We know what happened then. So I can understand why you would give that the benefit of the doubt. Arguably, this is the worst, the absolute worst box office performance for a Pixar movie ever. So by any fair measure, Lightyear holds the Pixar record for biggest second weekend box office drop. This, of course, them talking about all the gay stuff. And yeah, sucks to suck. But I think Disney, there's a combined effort here. It's not just with Chris Evans being a dipstick. It's a combination of so many different things. And it's the company that Pixar is under and what they have done, what they've committed to. People are a lot more cautious than what they are to give them money, a lot more aware of where their money is going because you've committed yourself to this weird sexuality with children thing. This doesn't help your cause. Yeah, it hurts when you got your lead star, which why he's voicing Buzz Lightyear in the first place. I think they thought, well, it's Chris Evans. He's Captain America. He has a big name. He's going to draw. Wrong. Not how it works anymore. And I wonder how much, because when I found out they made like 200 million, like they spent 200 million on that, I was like, that's a lot. I wonder how much Chris Evans got of that. But either way, it was DOA nonetheless. But it's a combination. Being fair to this, it's a combination of different efforts that's what got it, what it got. This is not going to be the only dud that Disney has landed. Disney has laid a few duds over the last like couple of years. And they can't even blame a pandemic anymore because you see, we've seen box office successes since then in America. So they can't blame that anymore, though some of them would early on for sure. You cannot blame it. They are seeing a decrease that was probably not anticipated in terms of the revenue that they're bringing in from these movies. Various Marvel movies have, yes, you got the combined effort with Sony, with Spider-Man No Way Home. You have some of these other movies, Doctor Strange and all that, but you also got Shang-Chi, which I think maybe broke even, if it did. You got Eternals, which by all accounts has lost money, right? You have shows like Miss Marvel, who's the lowest viewership of any Disney show, you know what I mean, in terms of its Disney Plus release. Like, these guys are laying some duds here and there. And yeah, they're going to have a success or two, but it's just not going to be like, okay, we can't miss right now. It's going to be interesting to see how this further develops. But yeah, Lightyear was dead on arrival.
You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.